put this up on something else later. So if no one's here, then you'll just see it later. Peace, Yovan. Peace, peace. Oh man, peace. Yeah. So yeah. Blessings to you too. Peace, Nico. Y'all see these lives quick, man. I don't know when other people when I'm on. I guess I'm not on here that often, but when I see other people on here and they do lives, I don't. I always seem to catch it after it's over. You know. I don't know. Maybe it's maybe I'm not as adept. Maybe I'm not as quick on the Instagram trigger as you guys are. Yeah, man. I was doing some work. Peace, Zakia. Thank you, Zakia, too, for your or you give thanks for your offering for Red Wrap. The you sent freezer bags as well, along with your actual items, and give thanks for that, Sister Zakia, because um, we didn't do that initially, right? So when we got your freezer bags, it was like, yeah. So, we ended up including that in all of the other packages as well. So, give thanks because that, it sparked the idea that we need to be doing that, you know. Yeah, there's been a couple of good ideas. People came in and helped out and did a little extra thing or did a little extra suggestion that if maybe we didn't necessarily or couldn't necessarily implement it for this red wrap, we're implementing it for the next one. Because we're going to be doing one again. I want to do it in the fall. Like basically the equinox and the solstice around those times. So I want to do another one in the fall. So some of the little suggestions and stuff that some of you offered, we're going to implement those on the next one. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you, Sisters IKEA. They're doing a distribution now. They're at the centers, and of course as well on Anwar. Thank you for going the extra mile. All of y'all, who really came in and gave a hand. I mean, I'll do a more official, thank you later. But we're in the midst of it now. Yeah, and it's going pretty well. Yeah, it's going pretty well. You know, um, I'm just a little depleted, man. I was lawnmower boy. I was sitting here just catching my breath, and I thought about something I was gonna share. You know, I normally have a guy who does one of my properties for me. He does the lawn and everything. He's a friend of mine. I can't even say a guy. He's a friend of mine, right? And last year, I went to Canada in November. Last year, in November, he transitioned. He transitioned while I was away, actually. Literally the day I left, the day I'm in the air at the airport, he transitioned. And I known him for many years. We were friends, and when I came back, another good brother was like, "Hey, so I don't know, we just whatever what we said," but he was just like, he asked me, he was like, "Yo, so what's the arrangements for your friend?" And I'm thinking he's talking like a birthday party or something. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, "Oh, you don't know." He said, "You were out of town." I was like, "Yeah, I've been in Canada. What's up?" Because he knows I'm traveling all the time. I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" He said, "Oh, your friend died." And I was like, "What friend?" He said, "The friend who does the guy who does your yard." And I was like, "Nah." I was just I was just talking to him. Nah, I like literally. I left that Friday. I flew out of I think I flew out of Kennedy. Flew out of JFK that Friday. Thursday, like midday, he and I were talking. So it's always that initial shock. Like, nah, I was just talking to him. So like literally days going by, I'm not buying it. I didn't even call his phone because I'm like, I don't want that kind. And he didn't have a cell phone. He only had a house phone. I don't want that kind of confirmation. But I notice his car isn't moving. I keep driving by the house. Driving my house, the car is not moving. I'm like, did he? You know. And then of course I confirmed he did transition. He actually was working on someone else's yard, and he, he was working on a lady's yard, and that was that Friday dawning, and he said he wasn't feeling well, but he kept working, and she went inside the house, I think, to get him water or something, and he went to the backyard to cut, and she came back, and he was gone, you know. So yeah, that was, like I said, the Toronto lecture, that trip I took in, I think it was either November or December when that happened, and so my own personal mower had been sitting for a minute, right? Because like I said, for this particular property, he, like, I didn't really even need him to do the yard, but what it is, I liked him doing my yard. For one, I like to employ him. Being a brother, he was a brother. He All he did was work for himself. He drove this really old Toyota Camry. I mean, it was the old small Camry, the old ones, like a 80, 86, 87, and he used to load all his lawn equipment up in it. You know, Jamaican brother, and Trevor, I would say his name, Trevor, and I liked his grind. You know what I mean? I liked his get up and go and his grind, and I didn't even really need him to do my yard really, but it was like I liked him coming by. you know, like I liked, and he could talk, man. Oh, sometimes I would have to, like, I would even come out, like, I'd see him pull up and start to cut, and I would just, like, you know, close the shades, because some days, like, he'd have you out there talking, but I liked him being around my space, and I also, like I said, I just like to employ people who are trying to do or who are doing and trying to do their own thing. So I had him doing the property for a while, and like I said, last year when I was going to Toronto, um, he transitioned. As I'm flying out, he's transitioning. Hey, peace, 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 brother. That's the plumber. That's the master plumber right there. But so yeah, so it got me kind of think. So, but long story short, so the yard has been like a bush, right? So I'm running around and doing all this stuff today, and I just got, because I couldn't get the lawnmower started. And I'm like, what the heck is up with this lawnmower? I know it's been sitting. I cleaned out. I took all the old gas out of it. Still wasn't starting. It was start and stall, start and stall, start and stall. So then I replaced the air filter. I kind of knew it wasn't that though, but changed the spark plug. Then I took apart the carburetor. I was like, all right, let me just take the carburetor apart. Took the carburetor apart and re-cleaned everything, carburetor, put it back together, start and stall, start and stall. Then I took out the jet stream screw, cleaned that out really nice with a little wire, sprayed it all out with carb cleaner, blew through it, made sure it wasn't clogged or anything like that. Made sure there was no old gummy gas in the carburetor. Everything. Start and stall. Start and stall. Yeah, bike pulling up. Oh, okay. That might be one of my people. Whenever I hear a bike close by, it's usually one of my people pulling up. But then something just told me today. I swear it was Trevor. Check the idle control screw. I said, yeah, it could be that. So I went, checked the idle control screw. It was tight. And I said, no, that's not it. But there's a spring that springs it back and forth. And the spring was bent. Took the spring off, straightened it out, put it back on, started it up, man, going straight. Right? And I couldn't get it started last year, but I didn't really stress it because Trevor was coming with his. And I don't really even use the mower. You know what I mean? So I was so happy, man. I was so happy to get it started that I did this yard, and I just did two of my neighbors' yards. They're not even home, but I was just like, I was feeling good because I got it working, man. So I didn't want to turn it back. I ended up just doing like three other yards. I know they probably gonna be like, I'm not paying you no money for cutting my grass, but yeah, man. Just like I said, I was thinking about, I'm taking a break now, man, and I was trying everything on this mower, man. And I know Trevor's the one who was like, "Yo, check the idle control screw." Man, I even took out my nunchucks, man. Took my nunchucks out, man, and started beating the side of the mower. I was like, "We're gonna go game of death, man. If you don't start working, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you with my nunchucks, right? Because nothing was working." um, but it just made me think about him to because he was a pretty young brother, man. Trevor was about what did Jerry say? I think Trevor was like six, no, not even in his 60s, like late 50s. So he was young, but sometimes people have conditions, man, that they know about and they don't tell anyone about, or they're suspicious of and don't want to really know. And I know even myself, I've been guilty of that sometimes too. Like, when it comes to health, like, nah, I got this. I don't need that type of exam, like this and that. Like, prostrate exams, like, prostate. I've never had one because I'm not feeling that. Like, I'd rather just die. Like, I don't want, I don't want fingers up in there like that, man. I'd rather just go. And I know that's an immature, and I'm trying to grow out of that. At some point, I'm just gonna have to, you know, you know. But like I said, and I don't know if he knew he had a condition already, or what. But like I said, he was cutting grass, and he was gone. And one thing about him, he lived pretty free for the most part. He didn't have any children, didn't have a wife, and we used to connect a lot, man, because he was always very interested in um, like things I did, like because one of the reasons I always kept him under well, with my employ was because I travel a lot, so I'm in my garage right now. That's why I'm like, I don't want to say that too loud, but even though everybody already knows anyway. But anyway, so I like the fact that like I gave him the code to stuff and things around. Like he knew what was supposed to be in place and what wasn't. So if I wasn't around for a while or whatever, he either knew I was staying at one of my other places or I was out of the country. But I could tell him like, "Yo, Trev, I'm going out of the country. I'll be gone for 2 months. I'll be gone for a month or whatever." "Okay, cool, cool, cool. I'll drive by, check on, have my nephew come look." So I liked that whole thing. So like I said, I didn't really need him to do my property per se, but I liked having him in this space. I liked knowing that I was reinvesting, into someone who was really living independently and really grinding because he did everybody's yard, man. And you'd see him with that little Camry, rust all over the side, which is still in the driveway, up at his house. And he used to take care of his mother too. That was the other thing. He lived in the house with his mother, and I don't know, it sounded like I think she was kind of annoying, because he used to always every time he come. I don't know if it was like some Norman Bates like mother type thing, mother. But every time we talk, man, he'd be like, "Yo, man, my mother." Like we'd be talking, like we'd be in a good conversation, and he'd be like, "What time is it?" I'd be like, "Oh, it's such and such." "Oh man, I gotta go home and get started on dinner. I gotta go make my mother's food." So he was like, "Yo, she won't do nothing by herself, man. She won't even like pick up the remote. I gotta go get the remote for her. Like I gotta make her food. This, that." So I don't know, man. So I liked also hiring because I know whenever he came to my space, it gave him a chance to escape on some man stuff. So we would talk about women or it's just stories of Caribbean stories or just whatever, like just guy stuff basically, why, and we could say all kind of nasty stuff, stuff guys do. But like I said, man, it just it made me just think about not only the brevity of things, but how it's so important to live each day like it's your first, and keep that sense of wonderment about you and be very deliberate about what you want to include in your life experience and what you don't want to include, and not and have no sense of guilt about expressing that. Like one of the things with him, like he had no children, no wife, and he said like, yeah, he said, since I was a little boy, man, I never felt the desire to like he had girlfriends and stuff. He was like, I never had the desire to have a wife. I never had the desire to have children. So I was like, okay, well, that's cool. That's not problematic because honestly, some people, oh, cardinal. I got all these tropical birds that come through this space, man. I know cardinal's not tropical, but I get tropical birds too. But anyway, and I was like, yo, that's not a problem really, Trev, because there's some people who have children who shouldn't have had children. There's some people who engage in marriages who, that not everybody is designed to have children. And sometimes they get guilted into a by or selfish feelings of wanting to extend their own, wanting to become immortal and I can live forever through my children, which is it's a bit narcissistic, you know, just the whole idea of that. Like, I want to live forever. And I'm not saying having children is bad. I have children, so I'm not saying it's bad, but I think it's good when it's another bike. That bike sounds small. That ain't one of my crew. That sounds like a little 450 or something. But yeah, man. When you're able to say like, yeah, this is not for me, and I'm not going to ruin someone else's existence because I'm forcing myself into something that I wasn't really designed to do, or don't really have the wherewithal to do, or just don't have the excitement for, which is okay. Sometimes as beings, we make our footprint so large on the planet. We take up so much space, we eat so much food, our fires are so big and our houses are so big. I'm one to talk, but but we just take up more space than we need to, man. So we would always connect on that, but he somewhat kind of lived vicariously through me because of course, because he would be in my space. And mind you, I have to tell you that um, he was the first to. Oh, well, it's funny. He was the first guy to actually come and do work on my house. Like, even though he's doing the yard, but that was a big step for me. The heck is that? Oh, lawn equipment. Oh, so now I done cut all the grasses. Now my neighbor want to show me up. Now everybody want to come out with the lawn equipment. No, but yeah, like he was the first guy to like ever work on one of my properties because I've always had this really, it was backwards. This backwards approach to the properties that I own. Like, I've always done all the work on them myself. I mean everything. Like, everything. The plumbing, the electrical, uh, the carpentry, drywalling. I do everything but roofs. I don't like doing roofs. I could do little small repairs, but I don't like going up too high, man. I had two good friends that got really hurt bad falling off a roof. One died falling off of a roof. He was doing some work on, and the other one he messed up his back for like ever falling off a roof. So I've been thoroughly shook from doing any type of roofing work. But yeah, anything else, man. I've always done myself, right? So one of my, I got all this grit on me from cutting that grass. I don't care. I'm glad I got that mower started. I don't even care. I'm about to eat it. But yeah, one of my elders had kind of hit me to that a while ago, and I wasn't really listening to him. He was like, you're doing a lot of big things. Like, you know, you really should probably hire somebody to do that to save your time to do the more important things. And I'm like, yeah, Unc, you're right. But I'm doing this because it was an egoic thing. Like, I'm a man and another man shouldn't come and do anything in my home, and if that's my responsibility, because I had that animalistic type perspective where, as a man you're always supposed to be the workhorse. Daddy's over there out there breaking his back, but for us, that type of thing. And wouldn't let anybody come and do anything. Maybe I, like, if I was, like, I laid down some hardwood floors before and repaired termite damage, and I had a couple friends come help me with that. I demoed some places. I had to rip the walls out and stuff, and you know, re-insulate and stuff like that. And I had some friends come help me with that. But that would be about it. But as far even things that maybe I didn't know how to do, I'll figure it out. I ain't gonna have another man do it. And that wasn't really the way to go, because when you start climbing and you get to a certain places, like your time, the commodity of time becomes such a it should become such a prioritized thing. So, like for instance, this property is huge. So it's like cutting this grass is well, it was quicker for him because he had all the right tools. Plus, he used to bring his nephew. But it's a 3 hour event, right? And what could I do in 3 hours? You know what I mean? And that's 3 hours, not even like being completely meticulous. That's like cutting everything down, maybe trimming some of the vines back a little bit, maybe pruning the trees a little bit, but not even like I got grapevines and stuff, and all, it's not even like going crazy on it. So it would be like a whole event to the point that a lot of times it wouldn't get done. So I got the worst looking spot in the area. And I had to relent. And one year I was like, you know what? I told myself next year I'm not doing this anymore. And I started having him come do the yard, and it was the best thing, because not just, again, the commerce and the economy or sharing economy wasn't just about, oh, now I ain't got to cut the grass, because I don't mind. I mean, I like to work out, and I love heat. I love being out in the heat. The hotter the better. 90 degrees, 100 degrees, bring it on. So that's all good, and I love the shoulder workout. Pushing it the more, whatever. But sharing that economy. Remember, economy is relationship. But sharing that relationship and the exchange of currency with him, fiat currency, but nonetheless, it created moments for us to interact. You know, and then a lot of times, like, my clients would come by, or guests, and he might be there, and then because he likes to talk, he be talking the air off. So it would always be these opportunities for just kind of a larger joining. In fact, if he wasn't so talkative or whatever, it really would. Trev was nosy. I mean, I love you, Trev, but he was nosy. So he was talkative, but it was more like he would be drilling you for information. And he did everybody's yard, so like he knew everybody's business. Ron Isley has a house, like, not too, like, little further up from me, like maybe like a 5 minute walk, right? So he was cool with Ron Isley because he used to do their yard. And he'd be like, yeah, man, telling me his business. And that's just how he was. It was cool though. It was harmless for the most part. But it just, like I said, man, thinking about him, and like I said, I had to sit and take a break, man, because I just did 3 yards back to back, man. I was feeling good, man. I was damn near running with the mower. I'm like, damn, the idle control spring. I should have known that. But fellas, for all you guys watching, 7 times out of 10, when your mower is doing that, 7 times out of 10, go to that bowl underneath the carburetor. There's that little bowl, that gas catch bowl. Drop it out. A lot of times there'll be gummy, old gas inside of there. Clean that out really well. Get that old gummy stuff out of there. And there's a little brass screw in there, and that's like a jet stream where the gas shoots through. Just take it out, clean it. There's a hole in it, and a lot of times the hole is clogged up. Clean it really well. You could use electrical part cleaner. You could use carburetor cleaner. You can even use gas to clean it, or you could use kerosene. Screw that back in, put it back together. You're not gonna have time. Most of the time, that's what the problem is. 7 times out of 10, you don't have to go to the lawnmower fix it spot, because they'll probably charge you a easy $150 for something you could literally do in like 4 minutes, and that's going to go find the wrench and bring it back, like 4 minutes. Maybe a little longer. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but yeah, it's an easy fix. So anyway, like I said, man, my man Trevor, he transitioned on that day, man, and I just made me kind of think about the importance of living free. And I always admired him too, because he had this old rusted out Toyota Camry, which is still up there, and I have a I have a truck that I haven't moved in years. I got an older Pathfinder. So I had even asked him one day. I was like, "Yo, you want this Pathfinder?" I started the job on it. It's the timing belt went. So I said, "Yo, I got it taken apart already. I'm staring at the timing belt. I just got to finish the job. I just never finished it because I don't, I moving from thing to thing. And I was like, yo, but because you carrying all this lawn equipment, you want it. And he was like, I'm pretty good. The camera's good, you know. I'm like, this looks better. It's bigger, but it's a stick shift. But I said, okay, cool, 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 no problem. You know what I mean? Because he knew his groove. He knew what he wanted, and in many senses, even down to him not having a wife or children, he was living a minimalist lifestyle. Like, no, this is all I need. This is doing a job for me. I cut these grasses. Um, I've never seen him work any other job or talk about any other job. And I think he was making so much money just from the spring, I guess, to the fall months. I don't think he had to even work all winter. And then I know he had some tenants. He had his mother upstairs, but he had a tenant in the basement as well. But I think he was because he was always hustling. He was always had that lawnmower in the back of that car. That's the only car he had too. I remember seeing him. He was at a Babyface concert once with that rusty Camry on a date. And I was like, "Hey, what's up, Trev?" He has little shirt tucked into his little khakis. you know, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we're going to see Babyface." I was like, "All right, cool, 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 man." But yeah. So living free, man, and being in tune and being aware of what you need from what you don't need, what don't need, and your honest wants. And like I said, man, I liked having him around because he was always a reminder of some of the happy, because he was happy cutting his grasses, talking to his different clients, and sometimes we'd be talking about some of the clients that were acting like jerks, and peace, Ken 171. And he'd be like, "Yeah, man, I went and cut this guy over there," and the neighbor threw all these leaves onto his yard to act like I got to go clean it up. And we'd be sitting there talking about it. And what was beautiful about it was his freedom, because I'd be like, "Just don't go over there anymore, Trev." He'd be like, "Yeah, I should, man. Don't leave them." Like, no, talk to the neighbor. If they don't talk to the neighbor, you're not coming back. And see, that was the beauty of, like, when you own your own situation, you don't have to fake and pretend like everything is okay. It's okay. It's okay. Say, like, "No, that's disrespectful. You can't do that to me. I'm not doing that." No. You know. So the ownership of your own situation, like, he lived, even though he, in my opinion, he transitioned early. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't early. I don't know. I don't. Nah, I don't want to get. I was about to get into some deep metaphysical stuff. I'm gonna leave that. I'm just gonna say, it would seem that he transitioned early, but maybe he didn't. But I do know that he lived like he wanted to live, and that's an important thing, man. Like I said, live each day like you're first. And when you live each day like you're first, you're not living with the pressure and the burden of external influence and opinion on what it is that you should be doing, because that comes over time. When you're living each day like you're first, there's a wonderment about everything, and you don't even know about societal norms per se of good and bad and this and that. You're just what's that? What's that? What's that? Ooh, I like that. Well, I don't like that. And you keep and maintain that fresh and that nubile and, like, perspective of things, man. And you know, and honestly, it creates a level of consistent unpredictability about your life. So you kind of know what you're not missing. Like, he didn't have a cell phone, for instance. He used to be like, "Yeah, just call me, leave a message." And whenever he would hook someone up with me or hook me up with someone, he would be like, "All right, I'll bring them by." Like, he would never even call, really. He'd be like, "What time you be here?" And I'm always hopping from, I'm like a nomad between my own places. So I might be at this house over there, I might be at that apartment over there, I might be or I might be out the country, or I might be on the road. You know, so that's always a tricky question for me. People are like, "Oh man, I want to come by and check you out. When you usually home?" I don't know. I don't know. I have. I don't. It depends on how I'm feeling. You know. Um, but yeah, man. I just wanted to, like. I felt, like I said, after I fixed that mower and figured out it was a twisted up idler spring, and I know Trev, because the mower went like last year, and I wasn't really stressing it because I was like, yeah, well, Trev comes, so I just always have it as a back because I still had a thing in the back of my that man thing, like gotta have my own thing, gotta have my own mower and things like that, and I didn't really, you know what I mean, and I started to enjoy not having to do it and whatnot. Now my youth can cut; they are gonna cut the grass, um, but I liked yeah, another bike. That sound like a Harley. Nobody in my crew ride Harleys, you know. But yeah, man. So like I was saying, just having that sense of having sometimes doing business with people you like, an opportunity to be around people that you like, and to be in the space with individuals that you want to have some sense of community or some sense of camaraderie with. What's that? Anwar says synchronization. As I'm on my security detail, I've been visualizing business goals. Good. Yeah, let them pay for your exodus. Let that security job, Anwar, pay for your freedom. You know, whether you're visualizing your goals or whether you're listening to an audio tape, one ear in. I guess they don't call them audio tapes anymore. Audio books. Um, you let them pay for your freedom. Why not? You know. But yeah, he definitely was one who like I liked his get down, man. I liked his style. You know, old beat up car. You know, and the days like some days he'd come by because he was like I said he was talkative. He'd be cutting me short. I'd be like, hey, what's up, Trev? He'd be like, yeah, yeah, what's up? He'd be like, yeah, man, let me get to it. I got 4 more properties. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? He would never sweat me for the money, because I'd always be rushing to pay. And I'd come up, because a lot of times I'd be on the phone with clients and I'd be like, oh, here, here. And because he didn't deal with checks or nothing like that. No checks. He didn't even like money orders. Like, give me the cash. He didn't like nothing mailed to the house because I'd be like, it's kind of easy because I got an automated system. And, the way I handle my monthly bills. And they'd be like, oh, when I see you, I see you. So literally, sometimes I'd see him in the street somewhere, and I'd be like, "Oh, I owe you for the last. Here you go." I peel off some money. Tipped him every time. I tipped him so much. I never said this to him, but I tipped him so much that he started. The years started going. He said, "Your ears are in tune, tuned to each engine." Yeah, yeah. After a while, I've been riding for years on Ron. So yeah, when I hear a bike, I know most time I'm listening to a Suzuki or a Yamaha, a Honda, or Kawasaki. The bike's got a turbo on it. You can hear it. After a while. You know, um, there's some guys better at it. My brother's better at it than I am. My brother's real good at that, man. But he's been like that since we were children. I mean, little children. I don't know how he got that gift. But we'd be like 9, 10 years old. He'd be like, "That's a Suzuki." Along the car, showing up Suzuki. You know, so I got good at it over the years. But yeah, man, he was really good at it. But yeah, man, I bike. You know, I realized that the other day, man. I was out riding, not the one with the. I still got to get that tire, man. And I realized, man, I don't even really be liking cars like that. I got a lot of cars. I got cars. I got trucks, and I thought I was a car head because I work on cars too and stuff. I don't even really like them that much. Because you can't, and I like luxury cars, which is even worse. So my cars are big, but yeah, Myrtle Beach, exactly. Because some of my crew went down there, man. Down to Myrtle Beach Bike Week. Shout out to the Rough Riders for sure. But I don't like riding with people, man. I didn't go down there because I don't like riding in groups. That's how you get hurt. I barely ride with more than one person with me. Very rare occasion I ride in groups. That's usually when the accidents happen. And if I am riding in group, I'm always the guy all the way out front or all the way in the back. Usually in the back. You know. But I don't. Nah, I don't like doing the group thing, man. It's all, and then that's when the cops listen to you a lot too. When they see the groups, they just pull everybody over. I've been pulled over a lot in groups, and they'll just because a lot of times they're jealous and they'll be like, "Yeah, we're gonna take somebody's bike today. We taking somebody's bike." Start with that stupidness. Then if somebody ain't got their paperwork right that you riding with, they're gonna be wanting to ride on. I don't like people dudes let me ride a bitch on my bike. Like, yo, let me ride on the back. The cops took my bike, man. I got to ride with you. Oh, God. Ride on something now you holding my waist and stuff, man. Nah. I'd rather just ride by myself. I'd rather just ride by myself, man. The only real time I ever even really went down on my bike, like bad, was because somebody else trying to ride with me. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Never forget this, man. Because me and I was living with this sister at the time. Well, no, we were living together. I don't want to say it like I was living with her. But, what's this? This is some red rap stuff. Hold on. I had to shut my phone off. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, cool. So they finishing up. Um, yeah, good, good. Wow, they were there for a while, it's like almost 4 hours. But yeah, red rap is going good. So yeah, man, I'm doing. It's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And I do tricks. I ride real aggressive, but like usually when I do stuff, I don't do it to show off in front of people. So I usually will be doing tricks by myself, right? I'm on this back block, right? And I'm doing willies, right? I'm wheeling the block. Wah, wah, wah. Now, of course, I shouldn't be acting like that. No 2 o'clock in the morning, people trying to sleep. It was, but whatever. So I'm hearing this other sound while I'm up in the air, right? And I'm like, I'm hearing, because my bike at the time that was an '86 Hammerhead Suzuki, a GSXR that I had bored out to 1,000. It was a 750, but I bored the cylinders out to 1,000. It was a race bike. It was actually a track bike, and I took it off the track and made it street legal. I put lights on it and everything, but it was still tuned up. It was like a track bike, so it was dangerously fast, right? So it had a certain sound. So I'm on the back bike. I'm up in the air, one wheel. Wong, 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 wong. I hear boom, boom. I'm like, what the heck is that? Next thing I know, I look to the side. There's this guy on this red Honda, and he's like, "Yo, yo!" I'm up in the air though, and we're on a skinny little block. And he curves into my bike while I'm in the air, hits me, and I go down to the side, and he goes sliding, and we slid for so long that I had enough time to lift my helmet up like this, and I was like, "What are you doing?" While we're sliding down the bike, he was like, "I'm sorry." He lifted up the glass on his helmet. He's like, "I'm sorry. I wanted to ask you something." We were sliding that long because we slid like 50 feet, like 50, 60 feet, right? So I get off the bike, like when we finally stop, and I rip my helmet off, right? He went. I can laugh now. I was pissed when it happened because I had all new plastics on the bike, so all my plastics are crashed up, smacked up. So we get off the bike, and I rip my helmet. I'm like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And he was like, "Yo, I wanted you to teach me how to wheelie. You asked me that while I'm in the air on the motorcycle, how to wheelie." So, we crashed, like I said. He wouldn't take off his helmet, though, because he was afraid I was going to hit him. Because I was like, so the cop showed up. I guess some neighbors or whatever called the cop. Turns out he didn't have no license, no registration, no nothing. So they didn't take his bike, but we were in Mount Vernon at the time, and he was like, "I'm from the Bronx." So they said, "Tell you what we're going to do. We ain't going to take the bike. We ain't going to take you in," because his bike wouldn't start after we crashed. They said, "But you better get your bike out of Mount Vernon." So he was like, "I got to push it back to the Bronx." And they was like, "Yo, get started." This dude pushed his bike all the way back from where he was at in the Bronx, man. That was like a good maybe 6, 7 miles. You push a bike 1 block, you ready to pass over. So pass out. So yeah, man, that's the only time I ever really, really went down like that. But from that dummy, smacking to the side of me. But yeah, anyway, like I said, this was about my man Trevor, man. I wanted to give him some energy. Like I said, I just thought about, I still got these nunchucks around my neck, man. So I was beating that lawnmower with these nunchucks. I was like, "You gonna start today, Jack? Or it's gonna be game." You know what I mean, Bruce Lee. You know, But yeah, man, he, like I said, living free, man, is an important thing, and like being very clear on where your boundaries are, where your limits are, where your desires are, and what the template is that kind of, like I said, even me coming to an acknowledgement, like, yeah, I like feeling the road. I drive all these smooth luxury cars, but I like actually some vibration. I like to feel the road underneath me. And at the end of the day, I don't even like to be inside of cars. I take a scooter or a bicycle. I like riding bicycles too. I'll take a bicycle. I love riding bicycles. Just that feeling on the road. You know, I like that feeling, and everybody's different, and it brings something out different in each person. I might have been a cowman, back in the days, working doing the rodeo thing, um, or something else. But the point is, like my man Trevor and his little beat up rusty white. It had the nerve to be white too, so you could see all the rust. He was very clear on, this is what I like doing. I like cutting grasses and stuff like that. I like to get paid in cash. I like driving my old beat up Toyota Camry. I don't want any children. I don't want no wife. You know, and so even when he transitioned, it was more, because I'm never really, well, I don't want to say never, but didn't really feel down about him transitioning. It was just more shock, like, because again, being kind of a younger brother, and strong guy too, like, because you doing yards all the time, man. You're not, he was in pretty good shape. You could see it. He had a bad hip, so he walked with like he was one of them, them hip walk peoples, whatever you call it. But he looked good. He was strong. Um, so for him to go like that, that's the thing that more hit me. And I still drive by the house. The car is still right there in the driveway, and I still be expecting it to like move. Like, nah, you know, just because of the way it happened. But use commerce, man, sometimes as a way to link with people that you want to enjoy. You know, because that was an opportunity, man, for me to get to know the brother. I used to see him drive around before, and one day I drove. That's how we got cool. I drove up on him, and it was like, just, hey, peace. Like, I just greeted him, and it was just like, hey, peace. I saw him all the time. I saw his hustle, or his grind, and I respected it, and I just wanted to know him and wanted him to know me. That's it. And it wasn't after that, like, let's exchange numbers. We could have a slumber party. It wasn't anything like that. It was just like, hey, what's up? So next time I see you, I can say peace, brother. Like, because now the introductions, have been made, man. And then eventually, years later, I was like, hey, man, I need you to do my yard for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not keeping up with it, and I feel like I'm disrespecting my neighbors by, having all kind of groundhogs and snakes all in the yard, and I'm hardly ever there because I'm always at somewhere else. So it's like the spot is abandoned. It's just it's just not good neighbor etiquette. So he's like, oh man, I got you. It's cool. You know, and not to mention, let me keep it kind of real too. There's another brother I knew who does this type of work. He's got like a straight up firm or something. And when I asked him, he was like, "Yeah, it'll be 600 to do the yard." No, no, no. It was more than six. It's like $800-900 to do it the first time, and then after that, each cut will be like three and change. I'm like, word. Let me go talk to the brother who got less overhead with the Camry. I know it's a big yard, but come on, man. You wildin', man. If I look like Ty Lopez or something, man, nah, we ain't doing that. You know what I mean? So let me keep it like totally real. I went to Trav second because I was like, I'm not paying no $300, 300 something dollars twice a month. I could rent a house in Smallville, North Carolina. Rent a mansion, you know, in Nashville, Alabama. You know what I mean? You wildin'. You too hyped up, man, cause you got a little truck with writing on the side. Congratulations, brother. Come on, man. Trevor ain't got no writing on the side. He got rust on the side, so I knew his price was gonna be better. So yeah, man, I went with Trev, Jack. Trev was like, yo. I said, look, man, I just need this part done, that part, the other parts, I'm gonna put gravel. Don't even worry about it. And I was like, as far as that initial cut everything down, I'll do it myself. I was like, you know, because he was like, I can't cut all this stuff. I was like, yeah, yeah, I got you, man. And Trev charged me. I don't remember how much Trevor because I tipped him every time. I think Trev his price was so low. I think he might have charged me like $45. And every time he cut, I gave him. I would always give him 320s. I gave him 60. You know, and the first couple times he'd be like, "You need back change?" No, man, that's you. But I was paying him that higher amount for so long that he forgot that was tips after a while. Because one time I went to pay him and I was like, something, how much? I said, because it was like he had to do something extra. I was like, how much? He was like, oh, it's the same it always is, 60. I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna say anything. You forgot. I'm giving you a $15 tip each time, but it's cool because I don't care about when it comes to people who grinding and who's living free and who've extracted themselves from the grid. Like I said, the man didn't even have a phone number. Extracted themselves from the grid. I'm like a trick. You can have all my money. So I had no problem paying him whatever he asked or whatever like that, man. And plus, like I said, he was trustworthy, and that's a big thing for me. That's a really big thing for me because yes, there was times Trev would come back and like there's a goat tied up. That happened a couple of times. And he like came to the side of the garage and there's a goat, or there was a goat in the garage, or there was chickens. And he never asked me what I did. He never asked me. He asked me one thing one time about an SU. He was like, "Yeah, man, what's that right there?" I said, "Oh, it's just like it's an ancestral thing. It's just like, it just represents the symbol." I lied. I was like, "Yeah, it just represents the symbol of the family." He was like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "Yeah, man, because back in Jamaica we have something like that, but we use that to make charcoal." And I knew what he was talking about, the big fire piles. I was like, yeah, yeah. So I just quickly diverted the conversation to talking about making charcoal. I was like, yeah, yeah. Back in Ghana, we do the same thing, man. The children used to make the charcoal, and you could sell a big bag of charcoal for like 25 CD. And I'm just changing the subject super quick. You know what I mean? But that's the only thing he ever, and he probably knows lying. He only ever asked me about the SU because you would think he'd be asking about the chickens and the goats, especially because he knew how to eat meat. But he was trustworthy, man. So I liked having him in the space, and yeah, he was good people, man. And he transitioned, and that's what happens, But like I said, live each day like it's your first, man, and your transition, becomes such a much more beautiful birth because you still become explorative. You still remain or maintain your inquisitiveness in your next existence, and that's really what it's about, man. Because that's how you maintain your deityhood. The deities always stay inquisitive. It's the humans that get into this I know it all crap. Those are the only things that are getting old and aging. But the deities always come back. Deities don't come back as old people unless you Zeus. Unless you're dealing with Grecian mythology. That was the only quote unquote god that came forth as an old man. Zeus was born aged already, which is a bad sign. That's a bad sign, especially when your pops is like thought he ate you. You know what I mean? Like Kronos, like that. But that's somebody else's stuff, man. But yeah, give thanks, beautify my soul. It says, live each day like your first. How beautiful. But yeah, man, you want to transition with your inquisitiveness. So, and always remember that, like, your death is a birth, your birth is a death. So just like when we come into this existence on our first day, we just finished dying because what we were before, man, like, oh man, mommy was hooking me up, and I was in this womb. It was warm and squishy. It was nice. I didn't have to breathe on my own and this and that and that. Had this little tube coming from my sacral chakra, going, my navel chakra going into her sacral chakra. I'm good money. And then I die. Whatever that is in that existence that I had inside of that womb and the relationships that I made inside of that room, because you got to think about it, a child inside of a womb makes relationships with the organs of its mother. So it's cool with the stomach, it's cool with the pancreas, with the appendix, and with the lungs, and with the heart. And every day it has conversations, and hey, what's up, heart? What's good today? And what's up, spleen? You know what I'm saying? What's popping? Whoop whoop whoop. And then it has to say bye to everybody. You see, it dies. It has to say bye, and then when it dies, it might be thinking like, this is it. This is the big one. I'm out of here. And then it gets reborn into something else now, and we're like, oh, a baby was just born. Yeah, but something else just died. You see, and then when we leave this existence, we cry and say, oh, my friend just died. Yeah, but something else was just born. So it's just a beautiful cycling of things, man. And that same first breath you took when you came out, and you was like, what's that? You want to be able to maintain that every day, and that sense of inquisitiveness, and that sense of wonder, that awe. I always say that, like, when you have a child, and you play them little peekaboo games, which especially with females, they go on later to, because they become very attached to peekaboo, and that's why they go to use that later. Like, you'll have I don't have nothing here I could use to demonstrate. Okay, my motorcycle glove. They'll go on later, like, to do the thing with the fans, or like with newspapers. You know what I mean? That little thing that women do where they peek over at you. It's peekaboo. It's the same thing. Or looking behind a tree. There's a tree. And then they go back. Right? That's from being a baby, being peekaboo. Peekaboo, peekaboo, peekaboo. So the peekaboo game, man, is a deep science, man. But it's still that feeling of like they're gone, and then it's like, because when you notice, when you come back, the baby's always like, they're always surprised, and they're always excited once again, man. And that's how you want to be able to approach your days, man. Where, like, the wonderment of life is like, it's like playing peekaboo. It's back there, and you're just waiting. So when it comes, it's like here, I'll give you a good example. I might take pictures of it and show it. When I was going grass cutting crazy, right? Um, I got all these wild strawberries all in my yard, right? And I looked down, saw all this red stuff. I said, what the heck is that? You know? And I looked close, these little tiny, tiny strawberries. I had a strawberry patch years ago that I let my daughters plant, because I let my daughters do the strawberries and stuff, and they started those like long, long, long time ago, right? And the slugs was eating them and stuff, So we haven't did the garden in a good minute, and it spread like probably, let's see, that's a good from there. I'm in my garage. I'm looking out. So from there back to there, maybe like a good about 45, 50 feet. So probably some animals eating them, and then dropping the waste back there, and then now I got wild strawberries. So when I saw the wild strawberries, I was like, right, and I ain't eating them. I might, I doubt it, but I was just like, wow, wild strawberries. So there's my wonderment for the day. And so I'm constantly fueling and feeding that spirit of awe. I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything. Not yet. I already knew everything. That's why I came here, to not know stuff and to start all over again, to get a feeling of wonderment all over again. When you know everything, then you get defined, and you might get defined as a god. And once you get defined as a god, it's like, oh crap, now I'm stuck. So you look, when to get that redefinition, you have to go to sleep again. It's called the great sleep. And when you're gestating inside of that great sleep, you forget. And that's what we say about Eshu Ilegba. When you go through the sacred grove, even when you go to the sacred grove of Osogbo, like, part of his responsibility is to make you forget your purpose in life. So when you're coming again down that, and the grove, I'm sorry, is really representative of the birth canal. Like, You really want to get into it. So when you're coming through that birth canal, you forget, right? And then when you forget, it's like you're awakened again. You die, you awaken again. You come here and you're like, all this wonderment, but also, what am I here to do? And the journey that you go on is supposed to be a journey of wonderment every step of the way. Every assignment that you're given, every time when you call Chief and say, I don't know what my purpose is. And I say, well, what do you think it might be? But I'm saying, I'm asking you. I know what you're doing, but I'm asking you. Have you ever had an inkling? Is there anything that you love doing that you don't need to be paid for? Anything? And that's your moment to go, and sit back and daydream and get excited and be happy, not to get further depressed. Because the further depressed party, that's the old person in you. Just give me the answer so you can hurry up and go where? You get the answer, now what? Are you the person who's supposed to have that purpose? You have to become the person who can claim your purpose. You might not even be that person yet. And it's your journey that makes you that. The crown and everything is already there. The throne is there. Whatever it is that you're supposed to do, it's already there. It was there before you were born because you're the one who created it. When you had the thought conception in Orun or in heaven before you became a physical being, you said, I'm going to come to the earth and I'm going to do this. The moment you said that, it was already created. So it's not like you got to make it happen. You ain't making it happen. You making you happen. You're making you happen. Hey, matter of fact, this is behind me. This is a good example, right? See this? This is actually my ceiling up there. My little lantern up there. um, but see this right here? This is actually a box spring. Right there. I told you, I just sat down I got this sofa in my garage. I got mad sofas. Like, I own a lot of sofas. Um, yeah, that's another long story. So I got a garage packed with sofas and boxing equipment, and I don't want to show you all my stuff, man. My business, but a whole lot of different stuff, man. You know, nunchucks, motorcycle helmets. But anyway, good friend of mine, right? I've known this brother probably about 30 years now, and going through some transitions, in life, just going through some financial transitions, and he had to make some moves, and or he was being asked to make some moves, and he had all this stuff. So I was like, like his bed and things like that, and I was like, man, just bring it here. Like I got more space than I know what to do with. Like, I got empty rooms. I got so much space. So I was like, if you want, you could just put all your stuff in one room, or if you want to save going up all them steps, you can just put it in the garage for now. We'll sort it out because this was when it was cold. It was like winters ago when I put this in there. Not a couple. I'm sorry, last winter. So I was like, yeah, it's cold like mud scrub. So when it heats up, then we'll come back where we organize everything, or maybe your situation will change by then. But one of the things that he and I were discussing, because he kept saying, yo, thank you so much, fam, thank you. I was like, yo, you just called me fam. What are you thanking me for? We're family. Like, don't even think twice about it. Like, I don't feel like I'm doing you a favor. Like, we're family. I got you. You should. That's one less thing you have to be thinking about. But like, when he started bringing stuff, he started making extra trips. He might even see this live. He's gonna laugh. But he brought me some other stuff. He was like, "Yo, yeah, I got these mouse traps. I got like stuff that was like, huh? What we do with that?" He's like, it's a bag of these box of honey graham crackers. They're still good. They don't go bad. And like, he basically just started offloading. And I'm like, yeah, you freeing up. You getting back to you. You're freeing up. So I was happy for him to be able to free up in that sense, and to sometimes when you have those things gone from you, you get a better sense of what should be and what shouldn't. Well, I got 20-second alarm coming, So I'm getting ready to get out of here. But hey, I just want to know. I just want to tell you guys, if you see any kind of weird comments on my post, I got another stalker again on this All Whores Go to Heaven project. Long story, but I got somebody who is just stalking me. You know, a couple people. So anyway, I'm out of here. Red Rap is beautiful. Peace.